Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time in my channel, hi, my name is Onyeka, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for returning. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as turn off your post notification just so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Today's video I'm going to be talking about why I left Ontario. If you haven't seen my previous video, I'll advise you please go check it out. So the first reason why I left Ontario was because I was done with school. Most importantly, I came into Canada as a student, and I came in to study in London, Ontario, and I was done with school. There was really nothing keeping me or holding me back anymore. That was like the primary reason why I left. After I was done with school, I felt I was kind of getting too comfortable. There's this thing that happens. I don't know if it happens to any other person. It happens to me, whereby I just kind of get very comfortable with wherever I find myself, especially when I've made that community or that particular place my own home. I've made friends there. I found myself getting so comfortable. So that kind of pushed me or made me to make the decision of moving. I applied to so many jobs weren't forthcoming. I just felt like that was the best decision to make at that period of time, was to move, just to go explore other cities. Canada is a very big country. This was me telling myself, why do you really think staying back in this particular place was the best decision for you? So that's actually made me to make up my mind to actually move out. I want to see other opportunities elsewhere. I wanted to see what other provinces or what other parts of the city had for me, and that was the primary reason why I actually left Ontario after my studies. Now, the second reason for me was the cost of living. I understand that Canada as a country is a very expensive country, no doubt. That one, it's something you can't argue about. But you see Ontario, and I'm putting emphasis on Toronto. Toronto is crazy, especially when it comes to the housing. Like during the period where I was still job hunting, I threw in some applications in Toronto, and you'll be looking at the salaries this company were willing to give you. I understand that, okay, some of them were entry-level positions, but come on, how can someone that wants to work for you be earning a salary of 45 to 50,000 annually? And then if you're going to do the maths, 45 to 50,000 annually, that's going to be 1,500 bi-weekly or thereabout, if I'm not mistaken. And then looking at the housing, you're going to be paying around, for some houses where you get to share like bathroom, the kitchen and all those things, you see someone paying $1,200 for a shared apartment, and you still have to be surviving on that kind of salary. I found that very, very annoying, and it keeps getting worse. The cost of living is crazy. People are not happy. You know, you're just going to work because you just have to go to work. The bills and everything is just wild. Now, coming back to London, as at when I came, housing was still quite reasonable, but right now the housing in London is getting crazy as well. It's so annoying because the money for rent is going every month. If it was like once a year like Nigeria, I understand that, okay, once I pay my house rent this year, I'm done. But you're paying your rent every month, and the rent is expensive. Compared to when I came, housing was much reasonable, but currently the housing in London is not getting any funnier. So the cost of living for me was not it, especially the housing. The third reason why I left was job opportunities. Obviously, I know I've said this before over and over again. Job opportunities. At that point, I was done. Like, I was ready to go explore any other province, any other city in terms of job. Now, the thing about Toronto, I'm using Toronto as an example because it's the most popular part of Canada. I'll just say it's very popular it's very popular in Canada. It's more like the hub of Canada. It's like the New York of Canada. So I'm going to use Toronto as an example. So in terms of job opportunities, it's not as fantastic as they make it sound. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not as fantastic as they make it sound. Oh yeah, there are jobs in Toronto. Toronto is a big city. There's so many companies. They are not going to tell you that the competition in that city is crazy. Like, you're competing with the best of the best. And I'm not telling you to limit yourself in any way. No, I won't do that. Try for the best. You can do it. I know that you got this. But then it is highly competitive. You're competing with the best of the best. So instead of everyone coming to that place to compete or to struggle, I just felt like, why not move to there are some other provinces that you might not know that are actually looking for people, but because everyone feels like they have to stay in Toronto, so you're here competing with 200 people for one particular position, and sometimes they'll be like, come, there are jobs there. Some of all those jobs are not jobs that you will want to be doing, especially after you're done with school. Like all those factory jobs are very common there. Those ones are student jobs, I understand, but after schooling, I was looking to get something better, to move from like all those student jobs to like an actual job. Even in London is not as big as Toronto, and the jobs there are not as much as they make it sound. London is a very small city, so getting a job there was quite difficult as well, because it's a small city. They don't have so many companies as much as Toronto, so the little companies that are there, few companies and so many people chasing very few opportunities. Now, I'm not trying to say that there is no job, don't get me wrong. I'm just making you guys to understand that it is not as fantastic as they make it sound. Prepare yourself, brace yourself. Life after school is the real ghetto. Have a plan A, B, C. Be very strategic about your moves, just to know in case things don't go as much as you plan. Be ready to move to your plan B, or be ready to re-strategize and come up with another idea, just in case things don't go as you plan. But I know a couple of people in London that after school they actually got jobs in very good company. I'm just saying from my own experience, it will be different from you. It might be different from your own situation. I hope you actually get something good doing and stable, but I'm just saying, just in case things don't go as planned, you should always re-strategize and come up with something else immediately. Now, this other reason is still in line with the second point I gave. It's just poor pay and high cost. Employers, companies are not ready to pay the amount of money that will equate to the cost of living, especially in a very busy city like Toronto. I'm going to say in London as well, because why should someone still be paying an individual, like an actual human being, minimum wage, and your cost of living is not getting any funny? There are some companies that will tell you that what they can offer you is minimum wage job. The only way you could actually get away from a cost of living that is that crazy, kind of, if you find jobs that are like way above the minimum wage. That one you could actually be reasonable. And another thing I will tell you, emphasis on, please cut your coat according to your size. Don't go and overdo. Don't go and buy what you don't need, or don't go and spend money you don't have because you're trying to impress nobody. No one is looking at you. Please just stay on your lane. I just wanted to put that out there. Don't buy things you don't need. Don't buy things because you want to impress people. Stay on your lane. Don't go and follow people that are not within your own tax and salary bracket just because they're spending this amount of money you also want to do. The only way you could try and avoid running into debt, cut your coat according to your size, and just do what you can do. Don't go and over impress anybody. You are actually not, no one is looking at you. You're running your race and just hoping for the best in the future. Now, the final reason for me was I wanted to explore. I was willing and ready to pack my bags and leave, and you should too. If you're in this situation where you are done, nothing is holding you, but you don't know why you are still staying back even after you're done with school, I would say pack your bags and go look for some other provinces. Apply to jobs in other provinces. I don't know why people are actually running away from Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan, Prince Edward. I understand those provinces are very, very cold and all of that, but is where you're staying currently giving you what you want? Is where you're staying currently making you happy? Is it giving you a good life? Like, are you comfortable doing what you're doing? Are you comfortable in that job you are? I'll keep on saying you are not comfortable until you are comfortable. For me, I was willing and ready to, but if I had gotten a job in Nova Scotia, I was ready to pack my bags and move. I was ready to give other provinces a chance. I found out that people were just hell-bent on Toronto. Everybody wants to just stay in this Toronto and live in Toronto. The thing is, there are other provinces that are looking for people, and the thing about Canada is, if you don't put your ear on the ground, if you're not like with the right people, if you're not among the right people, especially in terms of information, you might miss out on some important information. There are some informations I've heard and I'm like, huh, I did not know about it. That was because I was in the right place in the right time. And there are some people that you find out that they have no clue about what's happening. That's because they they are not mingling with the right people. You have to like be with the right people that have like information. There are so many informations about immigration, things to do. Some provinces are actually in need of you. Some provinces are actually in need of people, but people just feel like it must be Ontario. People just feel like it must be London. People just feel like it must be Toronto. That wasn't the case for me. When immediately I was done with school, I just said to myself, you know what, if you give yourself 4 months to 6 months and you don't see anything happening, I was ready to leave. So if you're in my own kind of situation or in my condition, especially for those of you that did a 1 year course, don't risk it at all. I would say be open to so many things, be open to explore, be open to other provinces. But if you did like a 3 year course, I would say give yourself around 4 to 6 months. If you explore and see that things are not going as well as you wanted it to, please by all means pack your leave, move to somewhere else, move to another city, move to another province, move to any other places. There are provinces that are in need of you. You don't have to stay. I keep on saying it must not be in Toronto. You can move to any other place. You can move to any other province. You should make sure that you're following the right people and you're hearing the right thing. And when it comes to hearing the right thing, so many people are talking in this country. At some points I just had to shut my ear. Like, too many people are talking, I can't listen to everybody, because when you start listening to so many people, you find out that you start having anxiety. So I had to shut my ear, especially when it comes to people that have not been there and have not done it. I started listening to people that have actually done it and have gotten the results as a result of following that pathway. So that's what I want you to do as well. If you're in this current situation, listen to people that have actually gone through that pathway. Don't be listening to people that say no. Follow who know road. Yes, that's the main word I'm going to use. Like, follow who know road. Don't go follow who know no road, because as bad as it sounds, your time is counting and you don't want to remain in this country as an illegal immigrant. So those are the 5 points for me why I left Canada to why I left Ontario. In all, I'm not saying BC is the best province. I'm not even saying any province is the best province. I'm just trying to say, do not settle. Like, don't rest until you have gotten to where you want and until you have gotten to that thing that actually brought you here in this country. And I don't know what it is for you. Don't just get comfortable until you've gotten to that point where you are excited and satisfied and fulfilled with what you have at that moment. I've gotten to the end of this video. If you have any comment, please leave it down below. I'll be more than willing to answer. If you have any video suggestions as well, leave your suggestions in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.